Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Edwin Lee Raymer here with you this is Ed Raymer for the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. Glad to be with you. Connor's on the board, and we have a special guest with us, running for House seat number 37 in the great state of Tennessee, Sherry Brown. Miss Sherry, how are you doing?
I am doing fine tonight.
Good. This is your first trip to WGNS?
It sure is.
Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to
Welcome
be
you.
here.
Glad to have you here. We're going to get into what's going on with you, and. Did you have any campaign things today, or did you?
No, today was kind of resting up from about 5 hours up in Laverne yesterday at the Fall Festival.
Right, okay.
So that was 5 hours on my feet, and as some of the people that were with me saying, I was acting like a carnival barker, pulling people into our table. So it kind of wore me out.
A carnival barker.
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to get my headphones adjusted here. There we go. Yeah, that Laverne bunch, they can, they get a little excited when someone shows up. They want to know a lot about you.
They do.
Which is good.
Which is good, yes. I was glad to be up there. I did a lot of speaking with people walking by, a lot of people from Laverne. I don't have a lot of voters in the Laverne area.
But you do have some.
But I have some.
Right, yeah.
And more Smyrna. So I was very happy to speak with people about Jonathan Yancey, who's running for District 13.
Yes, right.
Elizabeth Smith, E.R. Smith for state.
Yeah, she was with us last week. Yes.
She was there with me. So it was great to help out the fellow candidates.
It always is.
It always is.
But you'll get known one way or the other.
That's right. That's right.
That's the whole idea.
You got to show up.
Okay. I'm going to have Connor put this show on the road. But for right now, my name is Edwin Lee Raymer. And yes, I'm still a private investigator. Welcome aboard. Stop your music. And this is Edwin Lee Raymer Show, and I'm your host, Ed Raymer. This show is produced at the studios WGNS AM 1450, 100.5, and 101.9 FM right here in the heart of the great volunteer state, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Now, you can reach us tonight with your questions, comments, and your thoughts for Miss Sherry at 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. You can also send me a text, if you would, to my private number, 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Now, and that's if you don't want to be heard live on the air, and some of you are a little shy. Maybe you don't want to. Now, you can reach us a number of other different ways. Stitcher, my wife listens in on Alexa. You can find us. I have one I'm communicating with right now on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube at News Radio WGNS. You can type in Edwin Lee Raymer Show. Yes, that's on YouTube, believe it or not. You can find all the broadcasts there. Beth, as we mentioned, was with us last week, and all the shows we've done there. And you can pull them up and listen to them and watch them. You can see my beautiful face. And I'd asked one of the people doing the show, I told Sherry the other night, if you could make me look a little thinner, if you'd back the camera off. And they said, yeah, how do you feel about McMinnville? And I said, that's cute. Yeah, we've got some wonderful, funny people, out-of-work comics, Sherry. And you can find us on Facebook Live, too. And Connor, is there anything else that I'm missing? The Stitcher and all that, is there any other communication?
We stream on Twitch as well.
Twitch? Okay, I don't know what that is.
Speak to Mr. Bezos about that.
Okay, well I've got a Twitch, but I don't know what. I'm taking medication for it, so thank you. All right, something all the time, but you can find us, and we're there now. And you can also download the WGNS app and take WGNS with you wherever you go and listen whenever you wish. Listen to Miss Angela Bingham. Miss Angela just left here, And she said she told me down in the parking lot she was going to pray for you. She always prays for my guests. She never prays for me, but she prays for my guests and prays for the people on that work the boards for me too. I appreciate that. And she's a great gal. She's on at 6 every Sunday with Simplicity and doing a fantastic job. Does a great job and always has great guests. And Jason Qualls, got to listen to Jason a couple times this week. Financial Coaching Radio, doing a great job. He's got good guests too, people that are informed, not just a bunch of yahoos. They're people that know what they're doing. Now, Miss Sherry Brown, running for House District 37, believing in fighting for reproductive rights, affordable housing, try to reduce poverty. What brought you into this? What made you want to do this?
Well, many things. I've had kind of an interesting life, varied.
Right.
I've been
You told me you moved around a lot.
moved around a lot, sure. As folks listen to me speak, you'll realize that I'm not from here. I'm one of those Yankees, those D Yankees. I came and I stayed.
Right, yeah.
I've been down south for about 22 years now.
Okay.
But I was born
Right.
and raised in New England, mainly almost 100% white population.
And what state? You were telling me what state.
I was
sorry.
born in Maine,
Born in Maine.
Portland, Maine.
Portland, Maine.
I spent a lot of my youth and teenage years in Massachusetts, suburbs of Boston. And that's where I learned how to drive really well. It's right in the suburbs of Boston.
I bet you did.
I did. And moved to southern New Hampshire when it was a very small city, probably similar to Murfreesboro, maybe 15 years ago.
Right.
And I saw that explode, the population growth, people coming over the border from Massachusetts to live in southern New Hampshire
Right.
and commute to Massachusetts because we didn't have an income tax. We didn't have
Right.
a sales tax.
Ah.
So there was advantages. And we had massive growth. They now have 4 or 5 high schools. We had one when I was there going to school.
Right.
So I left there, moved to northern New Hampshire, up into the mountains. It was beautiful.
Sure.
Not much work. It's all seasonal work. I got transferred to Memphis, Tennessee, in my early 20s. With
Of all places.
Of all places.
Yeah,
Going
yeah.
from northern New Hampshire to Memphis. I had to literally ask, and I'm kind of ashamed by this, but I had to ask my boss where Memphis was. Because they just said...
You kidding me, really?
You seriously. They said I was promoted to an assistant store manager with TJ Maxx, and they said, okay, we need you to go to Memphis. And I said, where is Memphis exactly?
Where is Memphis?
I was expecting,
Really?
a city that was in Massachusetts. No, we were expanding into the south.
And now this was what year?
Oh, this would have been mid 80s.
Yeah, because that's when they put a TJ Maxx out in what used to be Hickory Hollow area. And my wife loved that store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a wonderful...
Good quality clothing. Yeah.
Correct. I had a wonderful 10-year career with TJ Maxx.
Really?
Yep.
I know that.
No college education, no college degree. I started folding towels in the third TJ Maxx store, and worked my way up into middle management. When I left them,
I'll be darned.
yeah, I was an
really.
accounts payable manager, and I had quite a few people working underneath me. And if you work hard, you show you can do the work,
Sure.
and you can get along with people, you can go far.
So you've proved yourself.
Sure.
You know that's what it takes.
Yeah, that's
and
what it
nothing's
takes.
to be handed to you on a silver platter
That's
or
right.
whatever.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Now you want to get into politics.
Yeah.
Why? For the money? Certainly
Right.
not on this level. I can tell you that.
No.
You won't get rich here.
Although I must say that we
Yeah.
do pay our state legislators quite a bit more than they do in New Hampshire. New Hampshire, they don't even pay them $500 a year for the whole year.
Is that right?
That is correct.
I never heard
Yes.
that. Yes.
You should check that out. It's amazing
really?
the range, the wide range amongst the states who gets paid? Some get paid $50,000 a year.
Yes, right. I'm sure
You know?
California
Yeah,
probably.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
some.
sure they do.
Um,
Yeah.
no, so obviously I'm not in it for the money.
No, I think the total take here is around 15,000 a year. I've heard.
It's a little bit more than that. I think it's like around 24, and then if you
24,
throw in the
okay.
per diems and
Per
things like that,
diems, thing like.
it could go up.
Okay.
Which, if you cost it out, average it out.
Yeah.
Some legislators say, oh, well, we go from, April 15th to as soon as we can get out in April.
Sure.
And then I
sure.
don't do any more work until I come back the next year.
Well, that's not really true.
That's not really true.
That's not really true. Yeah,
not
because
how
I've
it's
had
supposed to be.
many of our people come up here that are with us all throughout the year.
That's
and they're
right.
working on issues,
Yeah. As they
just
should
because they may own a car dealership or they
Mm-hmm.
may own, in Shane Reeves' case, a pharmaceutical company
Right.
or whatever. There's still things that people go, hey, we need to take a look at this. And,
be. Yeah.
you owe it to your constituents. And let's face it, some people that aren't even your constituents that will call
Exactly.
and say, hey, we need help here.
Mm-hmm.
What is your top? I mean, I've got to tell people. I picked up the DNJ. Of course, we take the weekly paper here, and today's Sunday paper, Daily News Journal. And guess who's on the front page? It's you.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
me.
You
Yes.
and my guest from last week, Beth's with you.
That's right.
Yeah. And the good news is you're not in handcuffs
Right. That's good. That's good.
yet. And
Yet.
you're at a Rutherford County school board meeting.
Yes,
I take it.
yes.
Yeah. What went on this week? Would you care to elaborate on that?
Sure. That was the hearing for Nova Smart Academy.
Right.
The
Fourth charter school.
The fourth charter school for Rutherford County. They had applied. Rutherford County asked them to review their application, make some adjustments. They brought it back to the school board, and it was denied.
Okay.
They appealed to the state charter school committee, and this was a hearing, a public hearing. The
Sure.
state came down, and we had people to speak for the charter school and against charter school.
Right. I believe Tess Stovall, the executive director for the Tennessee Public Charter School
Yeah.
Commission, she was there.
She was
Right.
there, yes.
And what became of this? What happened?
Basically, it was about a 2-hour meeting.
Right.
Both sides got to speak
Good.
several times, once in the beginning, then at the end, people in the middle, for and against. Meetings ended. The decision will be made and announced in October at a state meeting held up in Nashville with 6 other charter schools that
Is this the
they're appealing.
commission that Lee has put together? So they're pretty well going to approve it then, more than likely.
I didn't go back and look at what their batting average is for the ones that appeal.
Well,
how
their
many they
batting
approve,
average is not really that good.
and how
but-
many they deny.
Yeah,
But
right.
whatever the decision is, that their decision is final. There is
Right.
no appealing that for Rutherford County.
Okay. After they make that, that's it, and they're not even a government entity, so to speak.
The Charter Commission,
The commission that Lee put together, they're not,
they're a group of people that were appointed by the governor.
appointed by the governor. Yeah, they were
to
not
make a
elected.
decision.
No,
they were not. They were not elected.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
All right, one second, I'll get you.
Okay. Caller, please hang on. We're going to go to our first break. Carter's on. Carter, is that right?
Connor.
I can't remember. I don't have a pen to write anything. I'm old. Connor, this guy over here, he's a good kid. He's on the board. He's going to take us to our first break. You're listening to Ed Raymer. Sherry Brown is with us. She's running for House District 37 right here in the great state of Tennessee. And we're going to go to our first series of breaks. Back with you right after this. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com. Good. Okay, and we're back. Thank you, Connor. And I believe we have a caller on the line. Caller, are you on the air here? Get the caller on.
Yes, they should be on.
Caller, go ahead.
Mr. Raymer, how you doing?
Oh, fine. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Good. I just want to say I read that article that you're talking about.
Right.
I don't know when the meeting was before, but the vote was 4-3 against it. You know that?
I did not know. No, I didn't get to read the entire article.
It was an article that I didn't read all, but I read most of it. And the vote was 4-3 against it coming here. That's why they're appealing to the state because of it. This was 4-3 against
Right.
it. So they're appealing to the state. Like the lady says, they're going to decide next month. But what it was is Maxwell was one of them that voted against it. So that Francis Rosales, the two other ones, and then that, of course, Caleb Tidwell. You know how Tidwell was going to vote. He'll vote for it. And then that Tammy Sharp, she voted for it. But they asked her about it, and she said she'd vote for it again if it come up again. She'd vote.
Yeah.
Because what it is, you know what they said with Lee? If they put that charter school in, it's going to cost the county, it'd be 4 charter schools now, and it would cost the county $25 million. Did you know that?
$25 million.
And then what it is here a while back, there's a story on the national news, it was this week or last week, that there's one that Rutherford Prep School.
Right.
They had schools over there, close to 100 of them left that school. Mm-hmm. They're back in the Rutherford County school system now. They left.
And that money is there, and Sherry and I were talking about that.
You know that?
Yeah, I'd read something about that in one of the previous issues of the Daily News Journal. Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is on the Nashville News. They said that they left that school totally, and they're back in the Rutherford County school system now. They left. They're not school anymore.
And do we get that money back?
Wow, you can't. Yeah. Kentucky beat Georgia last night too. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We get that money back. Let's we can play another quarter that can. We'll go to the fifth quarter. You want to? We'll go to the fifth quarter.
Well, if Kentucky had had a fifth quarter yesterday, they might have done it.
They might have done it, but we ain't getting that money back. Are you kidding?
No,
we ain't getting 25 cents back. I can tell you that. It'd be like it's gonna give you a quarter cost someone who cares. It ain't happening. it ain't happening. So they've already said that it's stuff on the school system. And I do want to tell Ms. Brown too. She's talking about state legislatures. I told you this before. Well, one of them said that they don't need to have term limits. Let's say part time. They don't work on time. And he said the same thing. This person said we can't afford to build schools around here. We can't afford to do it. We can't afford to build all these schools. We can't do it. So I guess we don't need choice lanes on I-24 either. We don't need to have them neither.
I guess not. I don't know.
See, he said it's a choice to go to that lane. It's a choice. So the choice be in that lane. But it's a choice not to have these charter schools. As I told you, there's a school board in Columbia told them, said wait till Rutherford County tries out. See what it's like over there. But we have them. They appeal went to Columbia too up there. And the people of Columbia told them no. Wait till what happens in Rutherford County. See what happens down there. See what goes on.
Yeah, but and you know that's
they said no.
that's
We don't want nothing.
that's the thing. I mean, people are saying, you know, we don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want it. And I don't know, Jeff, you're not as old as I am, but both of our children have graduated. Both of our children graduated at Riverdale, and our kids had some awfully good teachers.
Oh yeah,
in-
I did too.
in that time.
I agree.
Fine
Oh,
teachers.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
people they know today that they learned from and respected and
yeah,
still
exactly.
respect today.
Exactly, no doubt. I mean, it's, like I say, but it's just I don't know. They keep having me. But I don't understand is you say if a school board votes against it and they appeal, it don't make no sense to me. They can appeal to a state commission. They can still come in. That don't make any sense to me.
I know. Well, there is no power. There's no governor. This wonderful governor was taking that power away from the local entities and placed it in his own hands, and they're going to do whatever he tells them to do.
That's true. That's true.
And-
It's like with voucher. He wants that voucher.
Oh yeah, we've got to go through that.
That's
Sure.
going to come up again this next year, of course. But yeah, that's what the vote was. It was 4-3. It was a real close vote. And they voted not to bring him in. So that's why they had that meeting. And like she said, people spoke for and against the having it here. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it'll be interesting to see what happens next month because they said it'd be in Smyrna somewhere, some church or something. They said so. It'd be interesting to see what the Republicans' two favorite words are: school choice. That's their two. Don't you think so?
Yeah,
That's their two
yeah,
favorite words.
I know. Yeah.
School
Okay.
choice, and choice lanes.
Jeff Neal.
Hang in there, everybody. We'll have a good week. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeff Neal, supporter of this broadcast and supporter of WGNS, and we appreciate him. Thank you so much, Jeff. And Jerry, he's right.
He is.
They don't. That's their two favorite school choice. Of course, in freedom and
Right,
all that.
right. And now
God, guns, guts, and glory, and all
Right.
that.
And he
stuff.
brought
Yeah.
up the choice lanes.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a very, very, very extensive project that is going to take 10 plus years to
Sure.
build out.
Right.
And my question to that is there's a cost to the people that use that to choose. You can sit in the traffic, or you can choose to pay to use those choice lanes.
And I've wondered how's this payment supposed to work. I'm not.
The way, from what I've read and the way I've seen, like Atlanta work it, the price for using that, the privilege of using that,
Right.
if there's a low demand, it doesn't cost but 15 cents maybe a mile
A
to
mile.
use it. A mile, yes, it's
Okay.
by the mile, okay. And during higher peak time, like rush hour traffic, trying to get up to Nashville to get to work,
Sure.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, down in Atlanta, their price goes up to almost $1 a mile.
Great
So let's
day.
say
Wow.
you're driving 25 miles and it's heavy traffic. You're paying $25 for the choice. You choose to spend that $25.
These people are not going to pay. They're not going to pay it long.
My question is, who's going to help the low-income folks that need to go up to Nashville to do their job?
I don't know.
How are they going to be able to afford that $25 one way? So now round trip, we'll say $50 a day.
Right. Yeah.
So they're not going to have the choice because
Sure.
they're not going to be able to afford it.
Well, here's the thing too. Is this a 24-hour day? Because the HOV lanes we have now,
Mm-hmm.
they're like from 6 till 9 in the morning or something like
Right.
that, and then in the afternoon from like 4 to 6 or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the hour. Is that how these would be set up? And as I understand, one way they would identify a car, you would have a particular sticker on your car.
Actually, you're going to have a transponder. You're going to have a piece of equipment that you're going to have to buy. You're going to have to purchase.
Sure, they're not going to give it
Right.
to you. Yeah.
And that is how you're going to be charged through that. That's how they're going to know that you're using it and how many miles. The details of how all that payment works, I don't know.
I
But
see nothing but trouble
Right.
all over this.
In answer to your question about is it going to be, like the HOV lanes, I don't think they're going to be able to do it that way
Right.
because the state is going to have it. They're going to own it, but we're not going to operate it. We're not going to run it. We're not going to bill for it. We're going
That
to
will be done by a private entity?
by the entity that is building it. It's a private-public partnership. So we're,
PPP.
right.
Right.
So come up with some words that mean trouble that go along with PPP.
Right.
I'm sure we
Yeah.
can find some.
And in some instances, it's been great over the years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting to the point where maybe we don't want to go that route.
It may very well be. So
Right.
without knowing the details and the plans of how they expect the whole thing to run, I don't see how they could have free time. I don't know.
A lot to talk about.
It is.
And
It's a big
a
project.
lot for all of you as candidates to, you know,
Pay attention to.
You've got to pay attention to it, and you've
Exactly.
got to be somewhat educated on this to talk intelligently on
Right.
it.
You do.
I have no idea how they would do this.
Yeah.
This is beyond me. I came from Kentucky. We had toll roads in my day in the 60s and 70s.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
what I'm
paid a
used to.
quarter or 50 cents.
Yeah.
And, you know, well, you had them in the Northeast.
Yeah,
and
we
you
sure
still
did.
do.
Sure. Main Turnpike.
Yeah.
Get on the highway, you stop the booth, you get your ticket.
How much is it to you? Is
Oh, I haven't been back home in decades, so I couldn't answer that.
it okay?
I
right.
have no idea.
Right. Okay. But
Yeah.
used to be, I think it was 50 cents.
Yeah,
For
I
us.
mean, it
and,
was.
You know.
It seemed to be fairly reasonable. I didn't hear my parents or grandparents complaining
Sure,
about it. You
sure.
know, so it doesn't,
Right.
stick in my mind that it was outrageous price.
And those toll gates were up until in Kentucky. Until the last one was in Hopkinsville, because this way we used to run it. We go back to our family farm, and I think it was like a quarter 50 cents to
Yeah.
get through. And then we went through one day, and the toll booth was gone. So well, I guess they got the road paid for.
Yeah,
you know.
right.
Finally, after all these years, there's a whole lot of quarters went through those
I
slots.
bet. I didn't even know they had them.
Yes.
Yeah. I
yes.
lived in Kentucky for 10 years.
Yeah, had them there. Had them on the Western Kentucky Parkway, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah.
They were around. Someone up there older than me would have to tell you that. Believe it or not, if they can find anybody older, well, never mind. That's another story. But okay. Other issues that you're running on, things that, what do you want to talk about? Go ahead.
Well, what do I
we've
want to talk
talked about this.
Sure.
You made the front page of the paper. I
know
had
it.
to ask you about it.
I know,
so,
and thank you for bringing that to my attention because
Sure.
I knew things had been published, but I did not know that it was on the front page of the
Yes,
paper.
you
And
and
there's
Beth.
my picture.
You and Beth both,
That's
right there
right.
in the wanted section.
in the
right.
wanted section, right? Well, I have a credit card that I keep no dollars on. It's free and clear,
Mm-hmm.
and that is my get out of jail card. So sometimes you're not far off.
Okay, you could probably use a prepay card to get. Yeah, okay.
Right. Things I'd like to talk about.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, so here we are. I'm going to share my age. I'm going to be 66 in another week and a half or so. So I'm a product of the 60s and 70s.
Same here.
Okay, same as you, Ed. We're the same
right.
age.
Right.
And
You don't have to keep reminding me of that.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
We are losing our freedom. When I was a teenager and back in the early 70s, I fought for reproductive rights.
Right. Roe v. Wade.
Roe v. Wade.
Right. Yep.
Ed and you and I had a conversation last night, and you wanted me to bring up some things.
Of course, please.
To remind or to educate maybe some of your younger listeners that we didn't, especially as women, we didn't
Especially women. Yes.
we did not have a lot of rights that we take for granted today. A lot of young folks just assume that, oh, well, I can go get a credit card.
Sure.
Well, we didn't always have that right to go to a bank and get a credit card on our own. We would have to have our husband. We would have to be on his account, have a shared card. I'm looking at the dates here. Okay, so that ended in 1974. laws were passed
Okay.
that gave us the right to be financially independent and to
Okay.
have our own checking account and our own credit cards, to establish credit in our own name separate from our husband.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
We don't want to lose that.
You weren't. When were women granted the right to vote?
Oh goodness.
Because my mom, my mother's mother, was born in 1900, and I don't believe she had the right to vote. Women had the
No.
right to vote then.
No. I could not.
Seemed like it was
shame
in
on
the
me.
20s.
Yeah, I
Seemed
would
like
say
it was
so.
in the 20s. Yeah.
Shame on me for not knowing the exact
Right.
date.
Okay. It's all right.
I can tell you that in 1976, up until then, a wife needed her husband's permission to get an abortion.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
These are some of the scary things that
Yeah.
we don't want to go back to.
Right.
We need to be paying attention. In 1972, unmarried woman earned the right to birth control. So ladies,
Correct.
young ladies especially, imagine not being able to get birth control because you weren't married. These are some of the things that worry me.
Exactly.
We saw how easily our reproductive rights were taken away 2
Yeah,
years ago.
we seem to be going backwards.
We are going backwards,
Yeah.
and we have to put the brakes on, full stop, and take all of that back, and
Now-
make sure nothing like this. We don't
I know.
lose these things that we've worked so hard. So many of your mothers and grandmothers worked so hard to earn, to get the rights for. We cannot lose them.
One thing that I think that is happening, especially with some of our younger people, and I don't mean to push this off on younger people. I don't mean younger people are all. I don't mean that. They're very bright. They're much more
Yeah.
intelligent. They run the board for me up here. I don't know what happens over here, and I don't want to know. That's
Right.
not my job.
Right.
That's Connor's job. That's what he does, and they all do it very well, and I don't have a complaint about that. They're bright kids, but a lot of the freedoms they have, they don't realize the price that was paid for those freedoms. And young
Exactly.
women don't realize the price that was paid. Let me tell you something. To have a right to an abortion, there was some bloodshed. And I want to put to sleep right now. Let's do this. This late term abortion, that does not exist.
It doesn't. It does not exist at all.
I have said it over and over again. Any doctor worth their salt will tell you that at times, unfortunately, an abortion is a necessary medical procedure.
That is right. That is absolutely right, because believe it or not, even in this day and age, in this very developed country of ours,
Right.
becoming pregnant and carrying a pregnancy to full term can be hazardous to a woman's health.
It can.
It
Yes.
can.
Right.
They don't always go, a wanted pregnancy does not always go smoothly.
No.
Sometimes women miscarry.
No. Right.
Sometimes your body needs assistance with that miscarrying.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
When you're losing
Yeah.
a child.
Sure.
And it requires medical intervention
It requires someone that knows what they're doing.
and someone that
Right.
knows what they're doing. And you know what that's called, Ed? That's called an abortion.
Right.
That is the medical term for it.
Well, and it's like, I've heard this term. Well, now we have one side, we are on God's side, and we are against abortion, and we have the other side that is for abortion. No one is for abortion.
No. We
I
wish
take
we
it-
never had to use one.
Wish we never had. Yeah, I mean, I take it you're not for abortion at all. I'm not for it either, but a woman should have a right to to make her own medical decisions.
Exactly.
I had a woman this week told me, I said, and she was on the other side of the aisle, and I said, well, I just don't believe that it's right that the government should be making your medical decisions. She said, well, I disagree. Okay.
I don't understand that.
I want to go home and tell my wife and daughter that. I want to see how far I get, before they
Right,
change the locks
exactly.
on my
Exactly.
house. I mean, this is crazy.
It is. And if the
I mean-
if the shoe was on the other foot,
Uh,
if it was,
yes.
if the women, because there are more of us now than there are.
54%, I do believe.
Okay, that
I
sounds
think.
about right. So there are more of us than there are of the opposite sex. If we controlled by federal law or state laws men's reproductive health
Exactly.
and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, your doctor says you need to have this procedure, but oh no, we don't think you should."
Yeah.
You know, we're the government.
Say
We're going to tell you.
vasectomy,
That's
whatever the
it.
case
Right,
might be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think we would be talking about different circumstances. They would say, "Oh no, we can't do that. We can't." Well,
No, let me tell
That's
you,
what we're
I
doing.
had a lady that was here one night and she told me this, and I've repeated it over and over. She said, if one man in this world ever had to carry a baby to full term and give birth to a baby, you would not hear a doggone word
exactly.
about abortion or ladies' rights to have medical decisions made between her and her doctor.
Right. Exactly.
And she's exactly right.
Right. And we still have one of the highest maternal
The
mortality,
mortality rates that there is in the world.
in the
I know.
world.
It's ridiculous.
And
And
our
it's-
infant mortality, and it's double for women of color.
Well, and people,
What is going on in this country that is existing, that we're not paying attention to, that we're not funding the resources that we need, providing,
true.
expanding Medicaid in the state of Tennessee.
I've said it before, and I will continue beating this drum. Many of the Ukraine is a perfect example. Okay, those people, those young people, wonderful young people in Ukraine, they are fighting for their democracy because their grandparents and probably some of their parents have pulled them aside and said, "Hey, kids, let me tell you something. You want to live under that guy over there in Russia? I was born and raised most of my life, especially a grandparent, in that mess.
Yep.
We've got what we have a democracy now. We can vote. We can elect leaders. We have a right to that. And you want to give that up, you better think twice about it. We here in this country, I've had it all my life. I take it for granted. You know, I'm going to be able to go in and vote, and I'll have a series of candidates there that I can vote either side for, which I will in November. And I haven't made up my mind which party I'll be voting for. I tell my wife, but she doesn't
believe you.
She doesn't believe me either. Yeah, I think a lot of people. That's all right. I don't care. Yeah, I'm a Democrat. I don't care.
That's right.
This is ridiculous. And anyone who can tell me this is for this is a good move for the Roe v. Wade to be taken away, that's a good thing. No, it is not.
No, it's not.
It is not.
It is not.
And I agree with Tim Waltz. Mind your own darn business, man.
That's right. Don't make decisions for other people.
What a
don't,
value.
Don't ban books
Yeah, I mean
in our schools.
Yeah. By the way, we're having Miss Strawson with us next Sunday night.
Yeah.
She's going to be here. It's going to be a good show.
Good show. Good
Nadine
show.
will be with us. I thank Frank Lambert for setting that up. If he's listening, thank you. He and Carrie, I appreciate them so much. But she's scheduled to be here with us. She's going to be speaking at MTSU Monday, and she's going to be in town a little bit early on Sunday, and she's agreed to stop by and spend some time with us.
Great opportunity for you.
A wonderful opportunity. And so be sure and try and tune in. And like I said, she is scheduled to be here, and we hope we can she can fulfill that, and we can fulfill the privilege of having her here. But you know, there's some things happening that are not, and people, well, that would never happen. Nobody would
right,
elect a guy
right.
like Donald Trump. Yeah, they would.
Yeah, they would. They
have.
would. And we're not going to take away your right to contraceptives. Well, okay.
Well, I can
if
still
that's
go
the case,
Here's the thing: I can still go get a vasectomy tomorrow morning.
sure, you could.
I mean,
Maybe someday you wouldn't be able to.
well, I mean,
Because let's face it, we're not having enough babies right now. So
Right.
our population is going to be decreasing. We don't want to have immigrants coming into our country.
Right. We want to stop all that.
So the other, J.D. Vance, he wants us women to fulfill our duties and keep having children.
And let us as grandparents take care of
and
the...
let the grandparents,
yeah.
stop their jobs and their careers, put that
Well,
all
you've
on
got
hold.
a lot of grandparents that are still working today.
Well, yes.
I mean, and they can't take care of children.
No, it's
This thing has grown into something. Who would have ever thought we'd be talking to government about possibly subsidizing daycare? But it's reached that point.
yeah, it has, because
It has reached that point.
It costs about $11,000 a year for a newborn. So if a mother needs to go back to work,
Sure.
that's $11,000.
Other countries don't have this.
No,
Sherry.
they don't.
They don't have this. They have longer time for
Mm-hmm.
and even for the husband to be off work
That's
if
right.
necessary, because it's changed your family. You have a newborn
Mm-hmm.
child. I think it's Switzerland or one of the countries over there. And I talked to a man, and he was from there. We were at the rental car place. And I've told the story many times. I said, "How do you?" And we were talking. I noticed he had an accent, and I said, "Where are you from?" and all that. And I said, "How do you like your foreign gun?" He said, "Oh, we love it. We love it."
I bet they do.
Said, "If you want to continue your education after grammar school and high school, they refer to it in different terms than
Right,
we do.
right.
But if you want to continue into higher education, you can go as far as you want, and it is paid for by the government." I said, "And what is your tax rate?" He said, "Last year my wife and I paid 34%. I said, "Do you feel that's fair?" He said, "Oh, it's more than fair to me."
Sure, it'd be fair if it covers
I'd pay it right
your
now.
college,
Right.
your health care,
Yeah, sure.
your child care.
Our kids, they got the only thing we got to really do for them. They stayed at home, but they worked a job and they put themselves through college.
Yeah.
And I admire both of them for doing it. And of course, I mean, we bought them their cars and things like that through the way. But I mean, it wasn't no Lamborghini, I can tell you.
Yeah, right.
But I'll tell you what. Let's go to our last break, if we could, Connor, if you don't mind. Sherry Brown is here with us, and she's running for she wants your vote in House District 37. And I want to talk to you about where all that, what all that entails, how many, where it lays.
Where it lays.
Yeah, the lay of the land on that. And we'll be back with you right after this. Stay with us. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard, right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com. Out of here, we'll give her about 2 minutes to get in. Sound good? Okay. All right, and we are back. Thank you, Connor. You're doing a great job on the board. Thank you so much for
finally
filling in
remembered
tonight.
his name.
I can remember his name, Sherry. That's enough. Women get on something and just pound it. I mean, I'm kidding you.
I know.
Tell us where. Now we were talking about your district you're running
district,
for and where it
sure.
runs. You start in Smyrna.
if
or
I,
really Laverne, or do you have some Laverne? Or
I have a little bit
okay,
of Laverne, just a smidge.
right,
I don't want to ignore them, but I couldn't even tell you which streets that I have
sure,
in Laverne.
sure, okay,
It's that tiny of an area. But they still matter. But if you take the MTSU area, that's kind of like the beginning of my district down
Sure.
in the borough. And you take Northwest Broad and you take Memorial, and if you look at a map, as you're driving north, it funnels out
okay,
up to Smyrna.
okay,
Now, Smyrna's divided between Luis Mata, who has District 49.
exactly,
He has the left side of the railroad tracks in the train depot area,
right,
and I have the right side of the railroad
Okay.
tracks
right,
going east. So that's my district. It's very large,
sure,
has an awful lot of apartment complexes down around MTSU. Oh my goodness, I could not begin to even hit every single one of them.
sure,
And all the college students on campus, those are mine too. Those are
and
in
we
my
should
district.
have a voting station in there if the
We sure
Republicans
do.
would let us.
You should. We need to have way more than what we have,
Right.
based on our
And Alan
based on
Farley
our
has done,
population.
has done a great job. Don't get me wrong. I
sure.
love the way
Yep.
we vote. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But MTSU is certainly large enough with all the students over
Oh,
there.
definitely.
Connor, you still over at MTSU, or are you out now?
I just left from there.
You just,
Just
left.
left.
But
Yeah.
you know, he's recovering from getting an education, and our two children went through it too. So don't worry. But you'll be fine. My wife did too.
With the
They've all
number-
got degrees. Here's the thing: my wife has a degree from there. Our son and daughter do. They have degrees from
Yeah.
there, and have their bachelor's degrees from there. And my wife has a degree in mass communications, what it used to be called. Okay, it's like whatever your department is called now. It's in radio and television. Okay. She's an accountant today. Well, she's
Okay.
retired now. I mean, you see the connection.
Right. Right.
And I have no degree, and I'm here on Sunday night. So you go figure. And these kids are leading me through this by my hand.
Yeah.
You know, thank goodness. And you know, it's a weird world.
It is. It is. I have done many things in my life, from working retail
Sure.
to affordable housing. I worked for a nonprofit agency.
Right.
Did a lot of planning, community planning.
Right.
That's where I got involved and interested in low-income housing. That's one of my passions.
Right.
We have
Yes.
a lot of work to do in that area.
And
in
it
here.
can be done.
Oh,
It can be done. Yeah.
We have here in Rutherford County, I'm going to drop some figures on you. 10% eviction rate in Rutherford County.
Okay.
In January of this year, 493 households were evicted.
Right.
Let's say 500 families.
Oh, that's 500 people. Right.
What that
500
does.
families.
Families.
Yeah, right.
What that does to their family.
Right.
You know, their credit history. I mean, the type of business that you do, you might have had to track down some people, serve some papers.
I have.
You-
my
you know?
wife and I owned property, and over the years, yes, I had
You know,
to do
you have.
evictions, and my
And-
brothers
and-
helped me do that, and you know, I did all right. And you've got especially single guys
Mm-hmm.
that just, you know, they'd rather drink and party than
Right.
pay their bills.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't just paying the rent. And now, you know, you got to go, kids.
Yeah,
And
there are
I've been
some-
over backwards as far as we
Sure.
could go. I really did. And but others, I really hated it when they had children. But they just didn't. And I'd talk to the parents, you know, and they'd tell me, look, you know, he's not going to work. She's not going to work. Mr. Raymer, you got to, you know, you have to do what you've got to do.
Do what you have to do.
It just, and we were bought out by Metro. Thank the good Lord for that. And I quit serving papers a few years back, and I just, it was getting worse and worse. So that's where I come from.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, it's hard. I see it from
Yeah.
a landlord's point of view, but I also see the other side because I live downtown.
Right.
I live, you know, I'm low income. Between
Sure.
my daughter and myself, I'm disabled. We're both disabled. Thank goodness I was able to receive approval for Social Security disability
Right.
right first time applying. There was no hassle.
That's a rarity.
It is a rarity.
That's
I think
a
it was.
rarity.
I think it was
Yeah.
because of my age.
Sure.
You know, I was close enough to retirement age that they said, why not? So I was thankful for that. But so many people that live in my neighborhood within, you know, a mile's radius, a walking distance, I see the hardship. I see the people that struggle when we have a snowstorm
right.
and both partners can't go to work for the week.
Sure.
So that's two incomes, two paychecks that
Two
they've lost.
paychecks that are
That
lost.
is all it takes to start that eviction process.
That's,
they get behind in the
unfortunately,
rent.
you're right. Yeah, that's it.
And we don't have enough of a safety net for the folks that need it, that are deserving of a safety net,
They are.
right?
Agreed.
So there are
Right.
some folks that, yes, they do need to be evicted because they're not doing right by the landlord.
Sure.
And they need
Yeah.
to grow up,
And
they,
we're always
and they
going
need to
to
pay
have-
attention. And we're always going
We're
to have
always
that,
going
the
to
bad
have
apples.
that. Yeah, right. That's part of it.
But then we have good people that are working really hard, that are trying hard,
Right.
that are struggling.
Yeah. Right.
2 and 3 jobs. Kids, trying to keep them in school, get them to school, keep them clothed, keep them fed.
Right.
We need help.
Sure.
I look at it, our people out there are hurting in many, many different ways, in
Sure.
many areas.
Now let me ask you. We've got about we've got about 5 minutes to go here. How do people? They can reach you at www.votesherrybrown, CHERI, sherrybrown.com.
That is correct. That is the best way
Right.
to reach me. I'm also on Facebook.
Right.
I have Instagram, but I wouldn't bother with it because good old Meta and Zuckerberg kind of put me in a bind with that.
I
And
can imagine. Yeah.
I have not been able to get into my account without them telling me, oh, you've sold your account or access to
Right,
your account,
yeah.
and you're paying somebody to get you followers, and I can't get back into it. So I haven't been in my Instagram account for several months now.
Right.
So I can't seem to fix that. So
Now let's talk about early voting.
early voting,
People can
yes.
still register to vote up until
October 7th.
October 7th.
Yes,
So basically, we've got
please.
about a half a month here. You can still get registered to
To
vote.
vote.
And please check your registrations. Make sure they're up to
Yes.
date. We vote in every election. The wife and I do in
Mm-hmm.
every election we can. But please, folks, please go vote.
Go vote.
And don't
Early vote.
listen to these people. Well, your vote really don't count. I'm seeing elections. We saw our last one
Right.
decided by less than 40, 50 votes.
That's right.
Here locally.
That's right.
The,
Locally.
the Electoral College only applies to presidential elections. The rest of it, that's it,
Right.
folks. I mean, and some of these people, with all due respect, they need to go.
That is true. That
You
is
know.
true. It's time to move forward. It's time for some fresh ideas. I don't want to say young blood because I'm not young, but my other fellow candidates, many of them are.
Yes.
They've got a lot of energy, a lot
Luis
of
is a
great
wonderful
ideas.
fella.
Luis
Jonathan.
is fantastic. Jonathan is wonderful.
Yeah.
So intelligent.
Yeah.
Great family man.
Right.
Wonderful
and,
family.
we have,
Teachers. Amelia Pont.
Amelia Pont, fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll have all of those folks back on
Right.
before Election Day.
But what I want to say is the importance of early voting for the candidates from our point of view.
Right.
What that does, it helps the candidates know who has voted so we can take your name off of our list and we don't have to call you anymore.
Right, yeah.
Or send you a text message or knock on your door. It helps us focus our resources, our monetary
Exactly,
resources,
right.
and our people, our volunteers. We can focus where we need to. That will help us win. So the earlier you vote, the better it is for all of us candidates.
Well, we love my wife and I. We do believe in the early voting.
Yes,
so,
I
you
love
know,
it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love it. I've told the story before. In all the years we've lived at our house out there, 25, 20, 26, 27 years, whatever it is, in all that time, only one person has come to our door to ask for a vote. I mean, people just don't. I mean, folks, you're not going to get votes if you're running sitting at home on the couch.
No.
They're
no.
not going to come to you.
No.
You've got to go to them. President John F. Kennedy said it best: if you ever shake a man's hand, and I think he meant men and women too, but if
Yeah.
you ever shake a person's hand, more than likely you're going to get that vote.
Right.
There's something they remember about that. And I'm telling you, please, please check your voting registrations. Please, kids, get out there, and young women,
Yeah.
man, get involved.
Right.
You know.
Exactly. Get involved.
Right.
We need everybody to get involved, to do something. At Michelle Obama said, please do something.
Do something. Like our mother said, don't
Yes.
just get there and get
Just
mad.
don't
do
sit there
something.
get mad. You can make phone calls for us. You can contact the Rutherford County Democratic Party.
Right.
Call them. We'll put you to work. You can be knocking doors. You can be doing postcards. You can be manning the office.
You know, and I'll say this,
There's lots,
Sherry.
and we need everybody.
Yeah, since our vice president and Tim Waltz have got in this thing, I've never seen like the
No,
energy.
It's wonderful. Absolutely
We haven't had.
fantastic.
I don't know how the election will come out, but it sure has been refreshing. You know.
Yes.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to move out of here and get ready for our next act that's coming in. Sound like we're at the circus. And we thank you for joining us. Vote Sherry Brown, District
Yes.
37. Sherry, glad to have you here with us
It's been wonderful.
for the Evan Lee Raymer Show. I'm Ed Raymer. Connor's been on the board. We thank you, and we'll be back with you next Sunday until 8 o'clock. I'll catch you down the road. Good night.